Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just setting the screen. So, hello friends. Good evening. Thanks to the entire NSDL team for giving me such a wonderful opportunity. It's a great pleasure to connect on this Friday, and I believe many of us must have seen the volatile scenario of the market when it has Nifty gone down by 100 points, recovered well, closed on a flattish note. But the good part is that comparatively this week, the panic seems to be over and volatility has cooled down. So, but guys, the volatility is part of the market. And in this session, with collaboration to the NSDL and Motilal, we'll talk about the derivatives market. However, I understand many people who are following me on day-to-day basis, they might be knowing the basic concept of the markets, but we are not going to talk much about the advance. Here we will more focus on derivatives market. In this session, I'll try to cover what the basic options and basic do's and don'ts of the derivatives markets. So start with the slides. Again, my name is Chandan Tapadia. I'm heading technical and derivatives desk at Motilal Oswal. MBA Finance, PGPBM, working in the industry from last more than 1 decade. A regular guest on all the business channels. So that is all about the passion which I have for the markets. So let's talk about the derivatives markets. So before I start, let me just give some summary that what the topic I'll cover. I'll talk about the basics of the derivatives, what are the options markets, and I'll try to cover in a very simple way that everyone could understand how to trade in the options. I'll share my practical exposure, how money is being made in the options trading. And nowadays, as you know, the huge business activities happening into the FNO segments. If I share the data setup, even if you look at the day-to-day NSE case segment, that is near to turnover is near to 60 to 80,000 crore. 60 to 80,000 crore is the daily turnover I'm talking about. But the derivatives turnover goes to near to 50 lakh crore. So I can say the daily case market is just 1.52% of the total derivatives markets. And out of the derivatives markets, 95 to 97% turnover is happening into the index option side. So you can understand that first how big the Indian derivatives market has gone. And in that, options has grown rapidly by multifolds. Why? There are so many reasons for the same. And today we'll talk about that. What is the reason that the turnover and the business activity and the participation is continuously growing into the index and derivative segment? See, what I understand, when there is the participations, definitely there is the opportunity. But again, when there is a huge participations, then there is a cutthroat competition to make money by one trader to other trader. And as you know, derivatives is a zero-sum game. If someone is making the money, the other party has to lose. So how to make money in this scenario when we know by default it is a zero-sum game if I don't include the brokerage and other costs? So when you have to make money in any kind of assets class, which is dependent on the probability, and when you know, ultimately zero sum game, either you will make money or someone is going to make money. So there are so many ifs and buts, so many do's and don'ts we need to consider in markets. Many times we must have heard or might be hearing on day-to-day basis that particular option which was trading at 10 rupees has gone to 100 rupees or 200 rupees or 500 rupees. Many times we must be listening that 100 rupees premium has gone to zero. So we'll talk about all these, how the premium increasing, decreasing, how people get the advantage of the derivative segment compared to the case markets. So I'll try to do into comparative matter. So each and everyone who are attending the session will be able to learn it in a proper way. So when I talk about what is derivatives markets, you guys must have learned or must be knowing that derivatives is a product whose value is derived from the underlying assets. And I'm reading this definition from last more than 2 decades. Because see, if I just talk about the layman language, any kind of assets class, which are derivatives have underlying assets, and in Indian markets, we have 4 derivative segments: equity derivatives, commodity derivatives, currency derivatives, and interest rate derivatives. So when I talk about the currency equity derivatives, that means underlying is equity. So I can say Nifty future. So that is the equity derivative segment where underlying is equity. So when I talk about the Nifty future, that is the underlying. The underlying of the future is the Nifty, and the Nifty is the combination of the 50 stocks. So in equity derivatives, we have 4 product: index future, index option, stock future, stock options. And in that way, we have commodity derivatives, currency derivatives, interest rate derivatives. In commodity, like we have metal, energy, agri, like gold, precious metals, like silver, zinc, copper. When we have crude, like agriculture, we have just like guar seeds, turmeric, and all. In currency, we have four: uh, USD, INR, Euro, JPY, GPB. Then we have interest rate derivatives. So these are the four derivatives markets into the Indian derivative scenarios. But today we are going to talk more about the derivatives markets in equity segment, as I have the expertise of the same. So when I talk about the equity segment, as I said, we have two segments: index and stocks. In index, we have future, we have options. So similarly with the stocks. Now, what are the participants we have into the derivatives market? So there are three types of participants: hedger, speculator, and arbitrageurs. So guys, if I just go through the books which I read earlier, or even if you go and take the reference point of any story of the derivative segment, actually derivatives started with hedging activity. And I've seen that many people quotes that derivatives started with commodity hedging. Like let's say for an example, a farmer is expected to have some crop in the farm after 2 months or 3 months. But he believes that after 3 months, when he goes to markets, everyone will have the supply and that time price will decline. So he doesn't want to be into the fluctuation of demand and supply of particular commodities. So what he does exactly, he goes to the markets at the time of the sowing of the seeds. He meets to the person in the industry, those who are doing the transaction of the commodities. So he'll meet to them. He'll do the forward contract to sell those crops 2 months, 3 months advance, which are happening into the farms, and then price decides according to the scenario. So this is what exactly the derivatives started. Now what happens, let's say someone is going to the mandis to do this transaction, so and they are selling it after 3 months. So the farmer is avoiding the fluctuation which happens after 2 months or 3 months. Ultimately his aim is he should get what the price right now. He doesn't want to get the profit or loss of any kind of fluctuation into the particular underlying. So similarly, what happens, it applies to the currency as well. Like let's say there is one industrialist who is doing the transaction of the import export. So either he has to pay or receive in INR or the rupee, right? As we know that our mode of money conversion is the USD. If we do from one country to other country, but again your INR keeps on fluctuating. So you can do some hedging activity out of that by trading into the exchange platform. So this is how exactly the derivative started. But now, if I talk about how exactly trading happens, people do the hedging. Like as I mentioned, that someone is having long position in the Reliance, and there is some news or events or corporate actions, and someone doesn't want to get that risk, so he can go into the future market to sell that Reliance to avoid any kind of fluctuations from that price level. So this is how exactly the hedging is mean to understand in derivative segment. Then speculations, that means someone is having positive view or the negative view and accordingly they trade. And then arbitrage means getting the benefit of the price difference in the two markets, or benefit of one strike to other strike. Now let's say due to the sudden buying, Reliance price moves up into the BSE segment, but it remains lower into the NSE segment. So you can get benefit to buying at one exchange and then you can sell it other exchange. Then towards the close, you need to settle your trade. And again, when Reliance is tradable in both the segment, price needs to be same. But sudden demand and supply makes the price to fluctuate. So people get the benefit of that. So it happens very fast. Like let's say your Reliance is trading 5 rupees or 10 rupees or 12 rupees lower in one exchange compared to other. So you can buy when the price is lower in one exchange. You can sell in the other exchange where price is comparatively higher. And then ultimately you need to do the square of position of the existing position which you have done earlier. So this is what people are doing. So all these three things are making the derivative so liquid and so tradable financial assets class. So like if you have view on market, like positive, negative, you can trade, you can hedge, or you can arbitrage to the derivative segments. Same applies to all the derivatives assets, whether you talk about the commodity, currency, or the interest rate future. Now, when I talk about why derivatives, so first let me tell you uh, what is the difference between case market and future market, and what is the difference between the equity and the derivatives. Because You need to understand the difference, then only you can go ahead to talk about the derivative segment. So when I buy into the cash market, that means I can buy any quantity. Let's say 1 share, 2 share, 3 share, 5 share, 10, 20, 30. And I can sell any quantity out of my existing holding. Let's say I have 30 shares of Reliance. I want to sell 10 share now, 2 share after 1 month, 3 share after 3 days, so that I can do. When you buy into the cash market, that means you are partially owner of the company. You'll be getting the bonus, dividend, voting right. Again, when you're buying into the cash market, you need to pay the entire transactions, entire money. Let's say you are buying a particular XYZ company, price at 100 rupees, and you are looking 1,000 shares to buy. So your invest will be 100 multiple the 1,000. So this is you need to give to your broker to in your like 1 lakh rupees. Let's say I say 100 into your quantity of that. But in derivatives markets, when you buy, first thing you need to understand, you are not actually buying the share of that company. You are entering in a contract to buy or sell. So this is the main difference, that buying in equity means you are partially owner of the company. You are actually buying the company. So let's say I have bought 100 shares of Reliance. That means now I'm the partner of Ambani's. So that means what ratio of the partnership? My share divided by the total equity of the company. So you can understand. So many friends who have bought the shares because they wanted to be the partner of Tata's, Birla's, Ambani's, and they believe that buying the share is the best way to be the partnership with these companies. Now, what happened into the derivative segments? Derivatives are, when you buy into the derivative segment, you need to buy into the lot size. Derivatives are standardized contract. In derivatives, when you are entering in a contract to buy or sell anything, that means you are not partially owner of the company. You are not going to get the bonus, dividend, voting right. Only and only benefit is the leverage. So we'll talk about this example in the later slides to explain it more, that what exactly the derivatives, options, futures and cash market mean. But in the slide, I'm just giving you some basic ideas that what the future and cash market differences mean. So when you trade in cash market, you need to buy and you need to put entire money on invest, and then you can buy any quantity. But in derivatives market, as I mentioned, these are the leverage product. You don't need to pay the entire money. You need to just pay some amount of margin. And that is why the biggest benefit of derivatives is only and only leverage. And because of the leverage, we are having the couple of benefits. First, lower transaction cost, reduce risk, financial market integration, portfolio management, enhancements of the liquidity, and price discovery process. So these are the key advantages of the derivative segment. Now, when I talk about the future, we have, see, when I talk about derivatives or FNO, that means future and options. As I mentioned, future is a contract for buy and sell. Let's say your Reliance, or let's say your Nifty is trading at 17,500. First, you need to understand there are around 200 future in NSE FNO segment now, around 200, because recently we have seen a couple of additions into the NSE FNO segment. And this addition of future happens as per the rule of company among the top 500 in terms of trading among in the market volumes as per that quarter sigmas. So, and each and every derivatives contract has their lot size. So like for an example, your Nifty is lot size of 50. That means minimum you can buy 50. Like let's say your SDFC Bank has lot size of 550. Your Reliance has lot size of 25. And these lot sizes are decided by the exchange at the time of contract, and they keep on revising as and when as per the rule of minimum derivatives contract value of 5 lakh rupees. So now coming to this example, let's say I'm expecting Nifty to go up based on any kind of expectations, whether I have seen the chart or I have seen the data or I'm looking at the fundamental point of view. I'm expecting Nifty to move up by around 100 points or 200 points in next 1 day, 2 day, 5 day, 10 days. So I can buy one lot of Nifty future. So what happens in Indian market? We have 3 contracts months: current month, next month, and far month. So like current month is the latest month. So right now we are into the December contract. So December, and again, as per the rule of exchange, every Thursday is the expiry of the derivatives contract. So like this every month, every Thursday of the month. So this time we have 30th as the last Thursday. So December 30th is the expiry of December contract. So now let's say you have taken the current month contract. So that is going to expire on 30th December. Now, if you want to carry it, then you need to exit from the current month and you need to buy the next month. Now, many people ask, can I buy directly with the next month? Yeah, you can do, but your margin will be high because you are carrying the volatility for next 2 months. So when you look at the current month and next month and the far month, these are the three contracts available at a time. You can buy whatever contract you want, but usually 90 to 95% people trade into the current derivatives contract. Why? Because that is more liquid. Second, that requires comparatively lower margin than your January contract month or the Feb contract month. So we have December, Jan, and Feb, and last Thursday of the month is the expiry day for the future contract. And for options, we have expiry every Thursday, like weekly contract every Thursday and monthly contract every last Thursday of the month. So now let's say we have taken current month, this December 30th contract for Nifty future with the view that prices should go up. So price is trading at, let's say, 17,500. Lot size is 50. So now if I just do the calculation, 17,500, I'm buying 50 quantity. My lot value is 8,75,000. So my lot value is 8,75,000. But in actually, I need to pay only 12 to 15% margin. So I need to just pay 1,30,000 rupees to buy one lot of Nifty future. So this is the biggest difference of derivatives compared to the cash market. So actually, you are not paying the entire money, you are just paying 15% of the entire lot value. Similarly, let's say if you buy the Reliance of the cash market compared to the future market, you need to pay only 20% of the entire value. So this is why, and that is why you get more margins, you get more leverage by just paying some fraction of the total value. So your ROI increases, and this is the biggest benefit of the derivatives market. And as you know, in the recent world, leverage is the entire game for your increasing ROI. But you need to understand, more you take the leverage, your return is higher, but risk and returns are in tandem. Higher the return, risk will be high, and that is why you need to understand about the risk part of the derivatives. Many people come to the derivatives market with the view that yes, it provides the biggest opportunity. Only 1,30,000 is required to buy one lot, which has the value of near to 8,75,000. But you need to understand, when you are paying less, your return on investment high, your risk will also be high. And that is why we'll talk about the option segment as well, that how to get the bigger return just by losing less to be into the option segment. So now let's move to the next thing. So we have options. Future, as I mentioned, it has the linear payoff. Linear payoff means if I bought a Nifty future at 17,500, more the prices go up, you are in profit. As the prices goes down, you are in loss. But one thing you need to keep in mind when you're buying into the derivatives, first you need to pay the margin money. That is called the initial margin. So here I mentioned 1,30,000. Now you might be asking why 1,30,000? That is set by the exchange, like 14 to 15% margin on your derivatives contract of the Nifty. Now the different stock future as per their VAR, value at risk, requires the different margins. Apart from your initial margin, you need to pay the mark-to-mark margin. Mark-to-mark margin is the difference of your unfavorable position. Let's say you bought Nifty future at 17,500 and next day price has gone to 17,500. You need to pay 100 rupees multiple your quantity to your broker, just so that there is no counterparty risk, there is no default risk. This is how exactly the derivatives is made. Because for broker or for exchange, if you are losing, someone is making, or if you are someone is making, so that is vice versa. So any party which where the position goes unfavorable, or they do mark to mark settlement every day. So this mark to mark settlement keeps on happening every day as per the previous closing to the latest closing, and your mark to mark credit and debit keeps on happening. But whenever you go into the debit, you need to pay that extra mark to mark margin to broker to maintain your position. This 1,30,000 is called initial margin, and the rest is known as the mark to mark margins. Now in options, what happens? Option is a segment which gives the buyer right an obligation transfer to the seller. So I'll just take an example before talking about options. Options are similar to insurance product. So what happens in the insurance? You just pay some premium and you get insured. And if something goes wrong, your insurance company will claim you. Now, just for an example, let's say you have taken an insurance of around 10,000 rupees for your medical insurance for entire 1 year. So your maximum risk in terms of monetary in this insurance scheme is 10,000. If you are fit and fine for entire 1 year, you will be losing this 10,000 as an insurance premium. But if something goes wrong to you, insurance company will pay as per the claim. And let's say they are paying 1 lakh rupees. So you are paying them 10,000, they are paying you 1 lakh rupees. Does it mean that insurance companies are working like an NGO? No. So they are in a business, they are working on the probability. They look at the data, how many people are doing this policy, how many premiums they have collected, and then what is the ratio of annual claim for that particular policy. If the ratio is lower, your premium amount will be lower. If ratio of claim is higher, your premium amount will be higher. So what I mean here, if someone is doing the insurance, that means the maximum risk is limited to the premium he has paid. Reward is unlimited as per the claim ratio, like 1 lakh or 1,50,000 and 2 lakh. This is how the option product has made it to the, any kind of assets, any kind of country or any kind of financial markets. So similarly, in derivative segments, we have two options: buy call and call and put. So we have two options: call and put. You can buy call, you can buy put, and same time you can be like insurance company to selling calls and put. Now, when I talk about two derivatives options, call and put, call means you have right to buy, put means you have right to sell. So you can buy call, you can sell call when you are expecting market to go down. You can buy put when you're expecting market to go down. You can sell put when you're expecting market to go up. So this is, you need to understand this, how the call buying versus call selling, put buying versus put selling. But you need to understand, whenever you buy any options, your risk is limited to the premium which you are paying. When you are selling any kind of options, your risk is unlimited, your reward is limited. So we'll talk about the example, but I just want to give you basic approach of what is called buying, selling, put buying, put selling. Now, as I mentioned here, by taking the example of insurance company, when you are buying options, you need to pay the premium. Seller receives the premium, you have right, seller is obligations, time decay works against the buyer. So this is the biggest benefit for option seller. So here we need to mention about the seller. This is not option buyer. Let me just correct it. Yeah. So option buyer versus option seller. So as I mentioned here, the biggest benefit for option seller is the time decay, and biggest tension for option buyer is the time decay. So what happens if I ask you, if you have taken the insurance policy, what is the biggest wish for your insurance broker or insurance company? They just want to give you the calendar of the new year. So let's say at the beginning of 2022, you are taking an insurance or any policy of, let's say, by paying the premium of 10,000. If given the choice, the insurance company want to give to you the calendar of 2023, because their biggest benefit is the time decay. Because insurance you are taking for 1 year, if 1 year, or as we say, maturity is done, your premium lapse. This is how exactly the option business or option property works on day-to-day life. When you buy options, your risk is limited. When you sell options, your risk is unlimited, but your reward is limited. So I've taken one example to explain you how option works and who makes money. So when I talk about here, let's say right now Nifty is trading at 17,500.
Tell Yogesh.
You can buy future. As I mentioned you, when you buy future, you need to pay the margin money, and then if goes unfavorable, like let's say gone down, then you have to manage for your mark-to-market margin, and then you can buy the options also. So let's say I have bought 17,500 call at 100 rupees. So 17,500 is my strike, where I am having the right to buy the Nifty. 100 rupees is the premium. So technically speaking, 17,600 is my break even, because I bought 17,500 call at 100 rupees. Now what happens if I just talk about the probability? There are three probability. It goes above 17,500, it goes below 17,500, or if it remains at 17,500. So in all three scenario, if I ask you just simple, what is the probability? Even as per the probability, there are only three things: market can go up, can go down, can remain low here. So out of three scenario, two scenario that option buyer loses. So let's say for an example, you bought 17,500 call at 100 rupees and market expires at 17,500. You are going to lose in case 2. In scenario 3, if it goes below 17,500, definitely you are going to lose because you have a right to buy above 17,500. You paid the premium 100 rupees, so your break even is 17,600. Now, the next scenario, scenario 1, if it expires above 17,500, you can make money, but only above 17,600. So this is how the probability works. And that is the reason that option buyer makes money only for 33% time and option seller makes money 67% time. So now the question is, does it mean that only option seller makes money? No. Does it mean that option buyer can't make money? No. So what I understand, option buyer has biggest benefit that they have limited amount to lose. They might be having the lower probability to make money, but they have limited amount to lose. When I talk about the option seller, they might be having 67% probability, but the risk is unlimited. So what I understand, you need to decide and you need to expertise yourself. If you want to be the option buyer, keep in mind that you are going to make money only for 33% time. That means you are not supposed to buy and you are not supposed to buy option every day. If you're buying option every day, that means you are donating 60% money to your option seller friends. So for option buying, you need to only buy when there is the momentum, when there is the breakout, because then the premium will increase. If market is range bound, got stuck in a range, and if you are buying the options, or let's say market is going down and you are buying calls, you are not going to make money. So option buyer, or especially call buyer, will make money if there is the momentum in the market. If market is moving in a range or going down, your call buyer is not going to make money. Similarly, if I talk about the put and market is in a range, I'm not going to make money because of the time decay, my premium will decline. So put buyer need to buy only when there is a breakdown in the market, when there is a negative momentum in the market. So if you want to be the option buyer, be sure if there is the breakouts in the market, if there is a direction in the market, if market is non-direction, it's consolidating in a range, don't buy the option. Otherwise, you will be 67% time losing the money. If you are option seller, welcome. But again, you need to understand about the risk part. If you are selling some premium, you need to follow your strict stop loss, or you can now combine the strategy like buying option, selling option, initiating into the spread. Like let's say I bought 17,500 call, I sold 17,600 call and converted into the bull call spread. So this is how exactly the option trading is initiated into the derivatives market. And as I mentioned you, the daily turnover on the regular day is more than 50 lakhs crore into the Indian NSE FNO segment. When I just talk about simple payoff, when you buy call, your risk is limited, your reward is unlimited. When you sell call, you need to pay the margin similar to your Nifty future margin, but your risk is unlimited, your reward is limited to the premium which you are receiving. Now you may ask why people are selling call. People might be selling call with the view they don't know whether market will go down, but at least they believe market will remain here but not going up, and they want to get benefit from the time decay. So wholesaler has negative view, but for sure not positive view. And same time, they want to get benefit from the time decay. When I talk about uh, this example of put side, so this is I've taken one example of the coal side already. I've explained it how coal buyer makes money. Let's say you bought 17,500 coal, so these are the break even. And what happens if market goes down? What is your maximum risk? So one thing for option buyer is, even let's say you bought 17,500 coal at 100 rupees and tomorrow market opening by 500 points lower, your maximum risk is only 100 rupees. If it opens up, you are in profit. It extend to whatever is goes higher. So this is the biggest advantage. So let's say you bought 17,500 coal at 100 rupees, and let's say this weekly expiry happens at 17,700. You are at profit of 100 rupees. Why 100 when market moved by 200 points? Because 100 rupees your cost which you paid as a premium. So this is calculation based on expiry point of view. But on normal scenario, you are being profit if market moves up because your option call premium will move up. You will be lost if market goes down because your call premium will go down. Now, when I talk about the put, you will be your limited risk, unlimited profit if market goes down. Put seller means positive view. You don't want market to go down. You will be in profit if market goes up, but profit is limited to the premium which you have received. So this is just the summary of the payoff of 4 option trades: call buy, put buy, call sell, and put sell. Now, let me talk about some example. What happens exactly? What is the difference between the case market, future market, and option market? So when I talk about the SDFC Bank, let's say SDFC Bank has given a breakout above 1500. Right now it's at 1500 and you are expecting it to go up to 1600. So you have positive view on the counter and you want to get the best benefit out of it. First, you can buy into the case market, but if you buy in case market, you need to pay the entire money. So you can buy in future or you can buy in option. So I have taken three scenarios here so that you understand well what is the future and options all about compared to the case market. So let's say you need to buy 550 share. I've taken the example of 550. Why? Because in derivatives market, the lot size of SDFC Bank is 550. So I've taken this example for 550. So you are buying 550 shares of SDFC Bank, which is, let's say, trading at 1500. So when I'm buying 550 share of SDFC Bank at 1500 rupees, so my investment is 8,25,000. I need to pay this 8,25,000. Now let's say if it gone to 1600, I'll be in profit of 100 rupees. 100 multiplied by my quantity of 550. If it goes to 1400, I'm in loss of 55,000 minus 100 into 550. So if I look at the ROI, I invested 8,25,000 because I paid the entire value of 550 share multiple 1500. My return on investment, if it goes to 1600, is 6.67%. If it goes to 1400, my risk cost on investment is 6.67%. So this is how exactly we calculate ROI into the case market. When we talk about the future markets, I bought one lot of SDFC Bank at 550. So my lot value is 8,25,000, but here I need to pay only 20% margin. So 1,65,000 is the 20% of the 8,25,000. So I just paid 1,65,000. Now if the same SDFC Bank goes to 1600, I'm in profit of 55,000. So my profit was same whether I talk about the case market and future market, but my ROI has gone by 5 times because of my leverage positions. Because here I paid entire 8,25,000 to take 1500, take 550 shares of SDFC Bank at 1500. But here, as my investment amount was 1,65,000, and as SDFC Bank has gone to 1600, my ROI is 33%. But you need to understand if it goes to 1400, your risk on investment is also minus 33%. So this is the biggest difference between case market and future market. Now let's talk about option market. So in spite of buying in case market and future market, you have bought 1,500 call of the current month, and let's say premium is 30 rupees. So as you know, when you buy into the option segment, first you need to select the expiry month, you need to select the strikes, and then you need to pay the premium. Now let's say the premium of SDFC Bank 1500 call is 30 rupees. Now you know your maximum investment is 30 into 550 because you need to just give the entire premium. And as you know, in FNO, lot size is prescribed, like let's say 550. So 550 into 30, 16,500. So your maximum risk is 16,500 because max to max you are going to lose this 30 rupees even if SDFC Bank goes to 1200 or 1000 or 800 or 500. But if it goes up, you are in profit. So let's say if it has gone to 1600, you are in profit of 38,500. Now how 38,500? Now you need to first find out break even. 1500 call, you bought at 30 rupees. So your break even is 1530. Now from your break even, it's up by 70 rupees. So 70 multiple to 550, your profit is 38,500. Now if it goes to 1400, you are going to lose this entire 30 rupees. So you are losing 16,500. Now if I just do the summary of entire example, in case market, you invested 8,25,000. In future market, you invested 1,65,000. In option market, you had invested or you need to invest 16,500. So first, the investment amount differ in case versus future in options. Now, if I look at the ROI, 6.67% in the same moment, 33%, 233% in option segment in the same moment of 1600. But when you look at the risk part, in case market 6.67, in derivatives market 33.33% negative, in option market you are going to lose entire premium, but that is maximum to 30 rupees multiple by 550, 16,500. So this is what you need to understand before starting to the derivatives trading, that what the case market, future market, and option market is all about. Yes, apart from that, you need to keep everything in mind, like what is your options, Greeks, delta, gamma, theta, vega, rho. So I don't want to go into that complexity right now, because today we are talking about the basics of the derivatives, that what is the derivatives all about and how the derivatives exactly works into the real market. So in ops, when you talk about options, you need to keep so many things in mind like delta, gamma, theta, vega, rho, what is the market movement, what is the time to expiry, what is the volatility, and all things you need to keep in mind. But don't go in that complexity as of now. Just look at the basics. What is the future? What is the load size? What is the investment amount? How actually the future is expires? What is the options? When to be the buyer? When to be the seller? And in the early slides, I have given some nice example that who actually makes money and when you should be the option buyer versus option seller. Or if you want to be the option seller, you should be knowing what is your risk reward and what is your probability in the market. Now, what exactly we do for options tradings or trading? Combine each and everything. We look at the technical, we look at the derivatives,
Sorry.
and an important part, we need to look at the risk and reward. So in technical, we look at the support, resistance patterns. In derivatives, we look at the data, and then we look at what is your payoff, what is your maximum risk, when do we expiry, and then some basic option risks. So what I understand from the thumb for executions, you can be the buyer, buy the options when you are near, buy nearby strike. May I request someone who is can you mute please? May I request participants to mute yourself so that we can continue this session smoothly. So when you are buying options, try to buy nearby strikes. When you are selling options, you can sell out of the money strikes. You can initiate the strategy also. This is what you need to understand. May I request participants to mute yourself? May I request please? I think a few participants who have Chandan Pandey, can I request you to mute yourself? Okay, I have done. Chandan Pandey, yeah, thank you so much. I have done. So you need to look at the position sizing. First, you need to look at the market outlook. What is the market? If positive view, then till what level you are positive? If more positive, you can buy call. If limited positive, you can initiate bull call spread or other strategy. Then position sizing. How much lot you can buy, how much you can buy on lower side, then entry and exit. All these things are important for the derivatives and option trading. Then keep very simple thing in life. Are you trading or are you investing? I have seen many people have taken the trades at the time of entry. They just want to sell 1 rupee higher. But once it goes down, they hold in their account with the view that now they are long-term trader, long-term investor. So if you trade, follow the principle of trading. So if you are looking for 1% return, try to exit if you are losing 0.5% or 1%. If you are investing, don't look at the price on day-to-day basis. So keep on very clear that what is the trading and investment all about. And what I personally suggest, if you are a trader, if you are investor as of now, and if you want to trade into the derivative segment, keep 2 accounts. For investment, you can keep the account of your wife, and for trading, you can keep account of yours. So as you know, derivatives and trading is more risky, so you can manage that risk. And investment, many people say good money is being made, so you can just make your family happy. So this is because you can't mix trading and derivatives both in same account, or you can't just mix with the same rule and mindset. So this is what you need to keep when you trade compared to invest, right? Then you keep your checklist, plan your trade, look at the time frame. If you know the technical, you can use that. Otherwise, take the help of your broker and their analyst. Look at money management. Try to find out your big tested strategy. Maintain the risk part. Maintain the risk part and other things, and then just keep on following the process. Work on a couple of do's and don'ts of the markets. So whatever risk you take the calculated risk. Even if you trade or invest. So that's all from my side, guys. You can follow me on the Twitter, and I think with your request, we can have the Q&A session. And at the same time, I'm so much thankful to all the attendees and NSDL for organizing such a wonderful platform to educate trader and investor better. Yeah, over to you, please. Yeah, Harsh sir or anyone in the NSDL team, please. Can you have the Q&A round now?
Thank you, Chandan sir. It was a very informative session. We request our attendees, if they have any queries, they can write in the chat box. Chandan sir, Chandan sir or Ankur sir will answer those queries.
Yes, please. Yeah, guys, you can put your question in chat box. We are eager to reply all your queries. So, may I read the questions and reply? Okay. So there is one question from Anant. Is there any way on NSE, BSE, or also I can find the buy sell trading activities by FIs and DIs? Definitely, you can look at the buy and sell figure on NSE side. Even everyone take the data from NSE side. In NSE side, we have FIs activity column. So directly you search in Google, that will take you the link. How do we hedge position if we are in losing position? So what you can do, let's say, thank you Pradeep for asking this question. So what you can do, let's say you bought Nifty at 17,500. Now Nifty has gone to 17,400. You are at loss, but you don't want to cut your position. You have hope or you believe that market can move to 17,700. But already you've taken the naked positions. You are in loss, but still now you can buy the put to hedge that positions. But always remember, if you are buying any kind of insurance, if you are paying premium, there is the additional cost of the premiums. So let's say you bought Nifty at 17,500, now at 17,400, you are at loss of 100 rupees. Now you are buying one 17,400 put, let's say 100 rupees. You are adding 100 rupees as your extra cost to hedge your downside. So 100 loss plus 100 more is your cost in this side. But yes, your downside is now protected. One simple traded for option buying. So Santanu already I mentioned, simple setup is when there is a breakout in the market, you buy the call options. Otherwise, let's say market is moving in a range, you don't buy options. You can look at the breakout in any time frame, whether you're 15 minutes or daily or the weekly. When there is a breakout, buy the options. If market is in range, don't buy the options. Again, one more suggestion, never carry buy options and hold for so many days. Otherwise, your time decay will hurt you. What I do usually, I usually try to buy option on the same day and exit on the same, if there is no bigger momentum. What I understand, let's say you have taken some stock option yesterday and carry to the next day, that means 5 to 10% definitely you are losing because of the time decay. And again, that if the trend is changed, then you might get more hurt in that trade. Seller have to pay full amount of options. Seller have to pay entire margin of the future, not full amount, entire margin of the future. So let's say if I'm selling 17,500 call at 100 rupees, I need to pay 1,30,000, which is the margin of the Nifty future. Question from Mayank Lunawat. Thank you, Lunawat ji. What happens if there is a dividend and bonus? So there is no dividend bonus in derivative segment. Only and only benefit is the leverage. Like there is the Coal India, recently the corporate actions. So no benefit to the future or option trader. Your trade, your price may adjust, lot size may adjust, strike price may adjust, but you don't have additional benefit in the corporate action. Sir, any advanced course you provide if yes to join? So guys, we keep on conducting. You can follow us on Twitter, so we can talk about that. Thank you so much. One simple trading strategy already I replied. What is the risk reward scenario? How is it applicable in option buying? So what usually I do, at least you should be having 1:2 or 1:3 risk reward ratio. Let's say you are buying 17,600 call, which might be trading at 50 rupees. So if you're buying and putting a stop loss of 30, at least you should be making 40, 50 rupees. Then only that will work. Because anyway, buying options is by default having the lower risk reward ratio. And if you're exiting early and not getting good benefit, then net to net is very tough for you to make money. How to decide when to buy or when to sell options, so that you can apply some basics understanding of the chart. And otherwise you can follow us or you can follow any of your broker which provide you the trading ideas. Does NSE provide option premium chart? Yeah, you can see the NSE option chain. So you can see option chain and you will get the live option premium. Today's seller day, before yesterday buyer. So we look at the volatility, we look at the market movement, and that exactly it works. What should be the time for option buying? 15, 30 minutes. Yeah, you can apply. So when you're index an option trader, you can look at the 30 minutes or 1 hour. What about your protective call and protective wood? So yes, you can do. So see, but I'll understand. Protective put means you are buying future and buying put. So that is exactly similar to your buying call. So you are buying future and buying put, better you buy the call, the payoff will be same. So that's why I talked about the better you be with the spread than being in the protective put. If you want to be the protective put, directly you buy call options of that particular style. I wanted to learn derivatives detail. Any book are available in the segment? Yeah, so there are so many books you can search in Google. I started my journey by reading the John C. Hull in my college time to understand the derivatives. Or otherwise, those who want to make the career or want to get the entry in derivatives segment, they can complete their NISM derivatives exam, NISM NCFM derivatives module. So that is good enough to understand the basics, and you'll get the certification as well. What is the maximum time one can hold a call? So it depends. If there is a momentum, you can hold the options buying. If there is more momentum, you need. So you need to look at the premium, and there is no concrete reply I can give that, because ultimately everyone is looking to the reply. When should buy option? When should I fill up option? Or how many long or how long I can carry that? Ultimately, everyone is looking the same reply, even in the live trading or even into the learning. So that will come by practice and understanding of the market. And scenario to scenario, it keeps on changing. When doing FNO, what is the deal returns? So it depends. When you're looking for FNO, you should be targeting annual 30-35% yield, because you are taking more risk in FNO. Dividend, no change into the your future. Your amount remains same. Even if your price changes, your lot size will increase, or if not, exchange will adjust it. You'll get mark to mark, but there is no benefit. Let me tell you, if there is a corporate actions, there is no benefit to the FNO traders. FNO is future and option trader. Is that certificate? No, NISM certificate is not enough for the job regarding. That is just the minimum requirement to show you that you want to learn about the derivatives. For job, you need to do the qualification, whether MBA, CFA, CMT, at least post graduation should be there, and then you can do the next. Is MBA necessary? No, there is no requirement. MBA is all about your passion, but yes, you should be having minimum post graduation to be into the research part. So that's all, guys. I replied all the questions which are being asked. Hope you guys enjoyed the session on the basic derivatives. However, I talk more about the advanced derivative segment in my day-to-day life. But it's great to start with the beginning, and it's great to interact with so many the beginners who are there who want to be into the derivatives markets. So wishing all the best to each and everyone. Derivatives market provides lots of opportunity, but risk is also there. As I mentioned here, you need to keep this slide in mind. In market, take the calculated risk. Heads I win, tails I don't lose much. So good money can be made here, but risk is also there. You need to master it. Then I think it could be the better compared to anything if you want to do in life. But again, making money is not an easy task. Making money is not an easy task, but you know something, it's not a tough task as well. So that's all, guys. Have a great trading and investment. And thanks to the entire team of NSDL for arranging such kind of wonderful session for the investor education. Thank you so much. To the team of NSDL, please.
Yeah, thanks, Chandan. Thanks for your wonderful insight about these derivative physics segments. And we hope that all the investors would have enjoyed this session, and we hope to see all of them again in similar sessions from Mr. Chandan and from NSDL. Special thanks to Chandan, to you for giving this presentation, and all my colleagues, Harsh, and all the other members from NSDL. Thanks a lot to all of you for attending this session. With this, we will wind up this session. Hope all the queries have been answered to by Chandan. Yeah, thanks a lot. Harsh, can
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Close the meeting?
Yeah. So guys, even if you have many questions, you can tweet us. I have already shared my Twitter handle, or you can also tweet to NSDL Twitter ID. So we are always happy to help you to make a better investment in the trading discipline system. So you can even stay connected after this session. Thank you so much.
Thank you, attendees. I will end the meeting here.